Hi guys, PD here, welcome to the channel, welcome to another new video. This is going to be my essential VorpX guide for 2021. Lots of people asking me to make a guide. I did a guide last year, it wasn't very good. So I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to cover the basics, how to get it up and running, how to look for games, that sort of thing. And at the end of this video, we're going to try and get Hitman 3 on the PC working in VorpX. So what is VorpX? How does it work? VorpX is a 3D injector. It injects 3D geometry into your normal flat games. It uses different methods to try and turn flat games into 3D games. The best way to describe it is, you know when you go to the cinema to watch those 3D films? So imagine playing your games on a giant 3D screen. I don't know how the process works. You'll have to ask the creator. His name is Ralph, and you can catch him in the forums. You'll get mixed results from most of the games. Some games might feel like a full VR game. You can look up and down. For example, yesterday I featured Resident Evil 7 on the PC, playing in VorpX. It was like a proper VR game. I could look up and down. The only difference was I had to play the game with an Xbox controller and not the VR controllers. So just bear that in mind. Most of these games you can only play on a keyboard and mouse or the gamepad controller. Some games are just a 3D screen. Again, it's like going to the cinema. You're just looking into a 3D screen. You can't look around the levels. The majority of these games are games like platform games, or in the Blind Forest, for example. Really cool. You get a really cool 3D effect and you're playing it on a giant 3D screen. So just bear that in mind. VorpX in VR, you get different results depending on the game. So how much is VorpX and what do you need to get it running on your PC? If you go to the website here, get VorpX. Currently in the UK it's £29 and there is VAT on top of that. I've seen it in the sale one time, £20. So keep an eye out for the sales. Don't buy into VorpX thinking everything's going to be working really smooth. You're buying into VorpX as an investment. I got this program 2 years ago. I've had my money's worth. I've had some amazing times in VR with VorpX. Don't look into buying VorpX for just one game. I would say look into it as a long-time investment. You do need a decent PC to play games in VR with VorpX. I started VorpX 2 years ago on a 1060. I could play games like Halo 3 or in the Blind Forest on minimum settings in VR. The better your graphics card, the better your PC, the higher the detail you can play the games in VorpX. I've now got an RTX 2070. Yesterday I played Resident Evil 7 maximum settings and it ran just fine in VorpX. How easy is VorpX to use in 2021? I'm going to show you that in this video. When VorpX first came out, there was not a lot of people using it, so there wasn't a lot of profiles. The programs got really popular now, so quite a lot of people are making profiles for games, and these profiles basically work out the box. 2 years ago, if there wasn't a game on the default list, you had to mess around and make your own. Also, Ralph, the creator of VorpX, is constantly updating it. We had a patch a few days ago. So how do you find games to play in VorpX? The VorpX website, the forums, is your friend. Go to the forums. There's a list of games that work in VorpX default. That means no messing around. There's a profile for the game. You click the profile, boot up the game, and it should just work. Also in the forums, look, you've got a list for good games for beginners. On that list will be games like Bioshock. Bioshock looks really good in VR with VorpX. You've got a wish list, and these are games that people want to play in VorpX. 9 times out of 10, Ralph, the creator, he'll try the games, get them working, and he'll bring out a default profile for the game to make it work. So just remember the VorpX forums. If you need to know anything, plenty of guides. Also, plenty of guides on YouTube. If you watch my VorpX videos, over the time, I've added more and more information into how I got the VorpX up and running, how I get the games running. In this video, I'm showing you from start to finish how to get Hitman 3 to work in VorpX. I've not tried it yet, so this will be my first time trying to get the game to run. So now that the basics is covered, if you want to buy VorpX, you buy VorpX from this website. You have to buy the license. Once you've bought the license, you have to wait for an email confirmation to activate that license, and it can take up to 2 days. Okay, so let's get into VorpX itself, how to select a game, how to get it to work, that sort of thing. We're going to open the VorpX configuration menu. This is the VorpX configuration menu. Basically from here you do everything. If you go into general, device selection, I tend to find it works best on Steam. A lot of the games I play in VR with VorpX are on Steam. If you've got a Rift S, a Quest 2 or Quest, you can try and select Oculus in here, but some people have told me that will crash the game. I tend to try Steam VR. I've not really had any issues with Steam VR. If you head into local profiles, these are all the default programs or games that work in VorpX out the box. So basically, no messing around. If you want to play Amnesia, click on Amnesia, just apply, run the game, it should work. You can also search for games in here. I do believe Ralph's added Cyberpunk. So if I type in Cyberpunk, there we go. Cyberpunk 2077. So that's the default profile for Cyberpunk 2077. And again, it should work out the box. Now if you try this and you're having issues with the game, some of the textures aren't working, the FOV is not very wide, you might want to look into the cloud profiles, which is next on the list. And these are profiles that have been made by other people. So people like myself, we've gone into the game, we tweaked the profile for the game, and we've added it to the cloud. So if I type in here Cyberpunk, as you can see, lots of profiles now. 2 years ago this was not the case. 2 years ago cloud profiles was basically empty. There's only a few people playing VorpX. But now quite a lot of people are getting into VorpX, and a lot of these people are configuring the profiles to get the games to work. So you can select any of these, look. Some of them have got descriptions on how to get the games running better. This one's telling you to download a FOV mod to make the FOV wider. So if you're a beginner to VorpX, this is basically all you need to know at the moment on how to get your games to run. So now I'm going to attempt to try and get Hitman 3 on the PC working in VR. This is my first time. So everything you see now is from scratch. I don't think there's a profile for the game. This is a new game. If I type in Hitman 3, I don't think there'd be a default profile for the game. Nope, nothing's coming up. If I go into cloud profiles, somebody might have made a profile. Let me check. Okay, no Hitman 3 profiles. That means I need to make my own profile. Really easy to do. All you need to do, you need to find out the engine that the game is running on. So it could be a Unity engine, it could be an Unreal engine. My good friend and fellow VR content creator, Eric Hartley, better known as E-, has told me that the local profile for Red Dead Redemption works with Hitman, but it needs some tweaking. So I'm going to find Red Dead Redemption in the profiles. There we go. And this is a default profile for the game. This one works in Red Dead Redemption, no messing around. So we're going to have to tweak this to work with the Epic Games version of Hitman 3. I bought the physical version of Hitman 3 on the PlayStation VR when it came out. Capcom I've kindly sent me a key for the PC version, so I can give this a try. Now before we start, this game is on the Epic Store. Now VorpX, when you run VorpX for the first time, it likes to attach itself to programs. So if I was to run a program now, VorpX would try to attach itself to that program. By default, Steam is excluded from VorpX when it tries to hook itself. When you first get VorpX, the Epic Game Launcher is not excluded, so you will need to exclude it. So if you go down to excluded programs, you'll need to find where the exe file is for the Epic Launcher and add the file. I've already done that, so I don't have to do it again. If I scroll down here, look, in my excluded programs, Epic Games Launcher, that means that VorpX will bypass the launcher and go straight to the game. Okay, so we've got the Red Dead Redemption file. We need to create a new profile based on this one. So create a new profile. In here I'm going to type Hitman 3. Tick all the boxes. Click OK. Now we need to find the exe file to run the game. So once you've got Hitman 3 selected, go to add file. My games are stored on my D drive. I go to D, games, and I'm looking for Hitman 3. And we need to select the retail file. So I don't need the launcher. I need hitman3.exe. Select that. That's now assigned to VorpX. Now when I click apply, if I run the game and VorpX is running, it will try and attach itself to the game. I'm not going to do that yet. I've not played the game yet, so I need to play the game first in pancake mode. It's very important that you run the games for the first time flat screen, just so that your PC can get all the settings. So I'm going to launch Epic now, and we're going to launch Hitman 3 in pancake mode for the first time. I might play around with some settings, put the game into window mode, that sort of thing. VorpX prefers games now in Windows mode. Okay, so going to my library, I've installed Hitman 3, I'm going to launch it. Let me have a look at the options. Okay, we're going for Windows mode, VSync off. I'm looking for any FOV. I want to turn the FOV to max. I'm going to leave all the detail alone for now. If I have any performance problems, I can always turn these down. Motion blur off. Okay, I can't see any FOV here. I might be able to change the FOV in the game. So we're going to save that. Play it. Okay, so the game is loading in. I'm going to load the game in, check the settings, and then quit the game. Press enter to play. Options menu. Gameplay. Controls. I'm going to try with the gamepad. If I'm not happy with the gamepad, I'm going to use the mouse and keyboard. Okay, graphics. Display mode on windowed. Super sampling, level of detail. So there's no FOV monitor with this game. Okay, quit the game. Okay, now we've done that, I'm going to launch my Oculus Rift S software. This should work as well. VorpX should work with the Quest 2, with virtual desktop and the link cable. I did a video yesterday playing Resident Evil 7 on the Quest 2 using virtual desktop and the link cable. It worked just fine, guys. If you've got another headset like a Valve Index or G2, sadly I can't test those. I don't have those headsets. If you follow this guide, it should work with your headset. If it doesn't work, I would suggest you find people on YouTube who play with VorpX with your headset. Okay, so this is my Oculus software here. Okay, this is my Oculus mirror. So this is what I can see in my headset if I put my headset on. And I'm going to, we're now going to run VorpX. And we're going to apply Hitman 3. So now VorpX is attaching itself to Hitman 3. So now when I boot up Hitman 3, it should work in VR. I'm going to record, for the process of this video, I'm going to record what I can see in my headset. So VorpX should now be working. We're going to run Hitman 3 again. If it works, you know if it works because you see VorpX prompts popping up. So fingers crossed. Click on play. Now that's the launcher that we're trying to bypass. And that crashed. Let me try again. Never give up, keep trying. My second attempt worked, look. VorpX is really good for giving you prompts as well. I highly recommend that you read those prompts. They give you some really good tips. VorpX is recommending immersive screen mode to play Hitman 3 in VorpX. This immersive screen mode is based on the Red Dead Redemption. So this prompt is based on the original Red Dead Redemption default profile. Don't forget, we changed our profile to hook to Hitman 3. So that message is not based on Hitman 3, it's based on Red Dead Redemption. But it's hooked to the game, so it should work the same. As you can see from the bottom of the game, you can see the VorpX logo. That's telling me that VorpX is working. The prompt screen is telling me it's working. Also, if you noticed, it's booted up Steam VR. Also, I've got to notice, look, that the VorpX helper has kicked in to help to get this to work. So VorpX is helping you by getting this to work. And it's automated, look. So I'm going to OK that message. I think the reason why Steam is booted up is because of general. I selected Steam VR. If I had this on Oculus Rift S, it would have booted up without Steam. Because I selected Steam, it's booted up the game through Steam. As you can see, bottom right, we have the Steam menu. That will explain why the game crashed. VorpX tried to boot the game up without Steam running. It could not do it. The game crashed. So when I tried the second time, it booted up Steam VR and it's working. I know a lot of people are concerned about VorpX. As you can see, guys, it's come a long way. It's automated a lot of this for me. I'm going to hide this. Not that I need it. I'm now going to jump into my headset. And I'm going to show you what I can see in the headset. All my VorpX settings. I'm also going to explain the basic settings you need in VorpX to get a really good experience. Again, really simple. It's not too difficult. The difficulty comes in when you want to experiment and play around. If you just want a basic experience like I did yesterday, Resident Evil, I was happy with the FOV, the game ran fine. I did not feel like I wanted to mess around with it, so I was happy with the default profile and I really enjoyed the game. If you're not happy with the default profiles in VorpX, then by all means play around with it, mess around with it, get it to your liking, and make sure if you get a really good profile, you upload that profile to the cloud so other people can enjoy it as well. Okay, let's jump into the headset. Okay guys, as you can see, I can see the game in my headset now. I'm recording what I can see in my headset. At the moment, it's like a giant screen. This screen at the moment is only in 2D. I'm going to press enter to play. Let me try the gamepad. See if the gamepad works. Yep, press A to start. Let's jump straight into the first mission. The benefit of this video is to show you a guide in 2021 on how to get VorpX up and running, and also we're testing Hitman 3. Okay guys, this screen's in 3D, so it's working already. I can see the 3D in the game. So these cutscenes are using the in-game engine. You can see here my VorpX menu. Look, I'm going to click here, center my tracking. There we go. Okay, at the moment, this is immersive screen mode. Basically, immersive screen is it's a three-dimensional screen. It's about the size you get going to the cinema. So imagine you sat down in the cinema watching a big film, but this is in 3D. I can see the 3D. For me, this is minimal 3D. I like a lot of 3D depth in my games. I would say for a VorpX game, this is the bare minimal 3D. I'm going to show you the different types of VorpX settings for playing games. VorpX has got an option called Edge Peak. Basically, it lets you zoom out of the screen. So in some games, if you're playing the game immersive mode like this, you might not be able to see some of your menus. There might be a game you're playing where you need to get into your inventory. You can't see your inventory, so you press the right thumbstick on the gamepad and it zooms you right out of the screen. Look. As you can see now on the video, I can see more of the screen. If I press this down again, it puts me back into the screen. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, press down the mouse wheel. You also get Edge Peak. There we go, look. Click it again to zoom back in. Now we're in the game. We've got VorpX running. You might want to tweak the game to get it running really nice. You might have some issues. It might not look right, that sort of thing. You might want to try a different screen mode. If you're new to VR on VorpX, and this is your first time trying this game, then you might be okay with this. This is working. It's in 3D. My head is controlling the camera. I'm going to be controlling my character, look,
Come in, 47. Do you copy?
with the left thumbstick. I can also control the camera with my right thumbstick. Now don't forget guys, moving your head around is moving the camera as well. At the moment this is in third person mode. It's working though. If I look down, I can see the 3D depth of the building. If I look up, when you're in immersive screen mode, you're limited to where you can look because of the screen. So if I wanted to, I could play the game like this just fine. Now some of you will not like the camera moving around, but for now we're going to mess around with VorpX. If you hold down the delete key, it brings up the main VorpX menu. This is the first screen you see when you hit the delete key and you bring up the VorpX menu in the game. Main settings, play style. This is telling me I'm playing the game in immersive screen mode. If I change this, cinema mode. Basically cinema mode, I'm sat on a chair in a 3D house. In front of me is a giant 3D screen. And I can look around this house, look. It feels like you're sat in a real house, just like you would at home, playing on your monitor. You can change the scene, the loft, the lounge, or you can just be in space. I'm going to leave it on the loft for now. Okay, this is full VR mode. VorpX does not recommend playing the game in full VR mode. Not in third person anyway. As you can see, lots of moving around with the camera. I can look around me, look. I can actually look around the character. But because this is a third person game, ideally, full VR mode is good for first person games. So games like Halo 3, when you're the main character, full VR mode is really good. In my video from yesterday, I highly recommend you check it out. I played Resident Evil 7 on the PC in VorpX, full VR mode, and I can look around just like I would a normal VR game. I'm going to turn this back to immersive screen mode. As you can see guys, at the moment I'm not changing anything. This is really easy, really simple. 3D reconstruction is the main thing. This game at the moment only supports Z normal. Z normal is not a very good 3D effect. The best 3D effect in VorpX is 3D geometry. I'm going to try and find out now. There we go. Now 3D geometry gives you the best 3D effect. Gives you lots of depth. I'm going to try this now, see if it changes anything. In this game, I don't think it's working. I can't change the 3D strength. So that's telling me 3D geometry in this game is not working. I'm going to double check by selecting full screen mode again. And we're going to try the... Nope, not working. 3D geometry mode is not working in this game. But like I said earlier, check out my video from yesterday. Resident Evil 7 works in 3D geometry mode and it looked better. Yes, it looked better than the PlayStation VR version. I'm going to put that back to Z normal. You've also got Z adaptive. Very similar method to Z normal. They both look basically the same. If you're having issues with one, then check the other one. I can't see any difference changing these. There's no textures ripping or anything like that. So I'm going to leave this on Z normal. I'm going to try and add some more 3D strength to make the game pop out a bit more. For me, there's a little bit more depth there, not a lot. That looks really cool though when I look up at the building. There's a nice 3D subtle depth. If you're new to VR guys, that's probably all you need to do. Don't mess around with anything else. Now in this game, I don't like this camera movement. So I'm going to try a trick to get me into first person mode. Okay, so we're going to save the game now. Save the profile. So I've tweaked the profile. I've now saved it. So if I load the game in again, it should remember my settings. Okay, we're going to get into the... we need to jump down here, don't we? B, hop down. I'm just going to get into the building. Now you can tweak VorpX to stop the camera movement. Let's climb up here. I would not recommend you play games like this for the first time if you're new to VR. Some of these camera angles might make you a bit dizzy. Okay.
Locked. 47, use your camera and scan the lock, will you? I think I can override the Windows controls from here.
Okay, so the trick to first person mode in this game is the camera. Here's an example why I need to use edge peek. I can't see the bottom of my screen, so I'm pressing this button down here. Okay, that's telling me to use my arrow keys to open my inventory, select the camera. I'm going to jump back into the game again. Now you have to do something with the camera to activate it to get into first person mode. Left trigger. Okay guys, so there's a way to get this game to running first person mode. I'm sure somebody will bring out a script or mod to get this to work. You're supposed to be able to bug the camera into first person mode. I've been playing around with my putting the camera on and off all the time and it's not working. I find a workaround for now. The only problem is you've got the viewfinder on the screen with the camera with the little cross, that sort of thing. I've seen videos recently where that cross is not on the video and someone's managed to bug the game into first person mode and it works in VorpX. So what I've done in this video for now, this is only temporary. Search around the internet for a better method. I went into options, gameplay, general, weapon aim, set that to toggle, not hold. By default this is on hold, so you have to hold down the button to take a photo. On toggle mode you press the button once and the camera's there. So I'll put this onto toggle and let me show you. Let me go back. There we go. Okay, so the only problem in playing this game in this mode with the gamepad is your head is constantly moving. It's really slow to turn around, look. So I can use my head to look around, look. And this is like proper VR mode now. As you can see there on the screen, you got the little cross there. I've seen videos where that's not there and you're just in first person mode. So I'm trying to turn to my left. So for this part of the video I'm going to use the mouse and keyboard. And the reason why I'm going to use the mouse and keyboard is I can now use the mouse to get my view central again. Look at that. A lot easier. I'm using my mouse to keep myself nice and level. Okay, I've had to turn the camera off to vault this bit here. Let me vault over. Press X. Okay, we're going to jump back into first person mode. Yeah, this is all in 3D now. Really nice 3D effect here.
The inauguration is taking place close by. Once you've infiltrated it, get your bearings. I'm sure there must be floor plans somewhere.
Understood.
We need absolute focus on this one. If Ingram and Stuyvesant are alerted to our presence, we may lose them for good. We are so close, 47.
Don't worry.
So I can now move my head movement with the headset, or I can use the mouse lock. So I'm now using the mouse to turn. I'm used to playing these games in VorpX, first person shooters, a combination, mouse and keyboard and the headset. And I'm used to compensating now, so I can always keep my vision nice and straight. Okay, again, I might need to turn camera off to climb the ladder. So just bear that in mind. Press X to climb. I'm not used to the configuration on the keyboard as well. This is my first time playing the game, so I've not configured my keys, guys. I like to use my arrow keys to move around. If you wanted to, you can still play the game like this, look. Actually, I think it's a better experience as well with the mouse and keyboard than the gamepad, especially this game. Yesterday, Resident Evil ran fine with the gamepad. So the only problem for now, you have to switch in and out of first person mode to achieve anything in the game. But look at this. Okay, so for my liking, the 3D, it's working in 3D. It's got 3D depth. It looks really, really nice. Hello. Wow, this looks really nice, guys. If somebody can make a first-person mod to get rid of that crosshair, that would be amazing. Running super smooth. I've not changed any settings in the game. So these are the default settings for my GTX 2070. Hello. Okay, really, really nice textures.
Sorry, man, but it's just making me feel a little uncomfortable now.
And this would probably look a lot better, sharper and clearer. No screen door on a Quest 2. Okay, so let me find a nice spot. Performance is really, really good. Nice and smooth. Hello. These people look real. Again, I can turn around, look behind me in this mode. Okay, if I put this into immersive screen mode. So this is now immersive screen mode. The 3D is really nice actually. This looks a lot sharper and clearer in immersive screen mode. Playing this with the mouse and keyboard is a lot easier than the gamepad. So in immersive screen mode, we can't turn all the way around, look. So you've got different options here. You can play the game as a 3D game with some slight head movement, which adds a little bit to immersion. Also, third person, nice and smooth. This is not going to make you feel sick or dizzy.
47.
And if you want more of a VR experience, more of an immersive experience, set VorpX to full VR mode.
But it requires you finding a map terminal.
Okay. In this mode, third person mode's a bit janky, but the first person mode is like a proper VR game look. So you've got your options. Like I said, play around with VorpX, find the most comfortable way to play the game, use that method, and make sure you save your profile so that next time you play the game, VorpX remembers. Okay, I feel in this mode, full VR mode, I'm too close to the objects, the people in front of me. Now we're going to delve into more options that VorpX can offer us. If you think the head tracking is too fast, you can change it here, look. This setting here will change the settings. For me, this is okay. To say this is working in Z normal, the 3D is really good. This is one of the better Z normal 3D experiences. I'm going to try geometry. It's not working. So there's no point trying geometry in this mode. Somebody might get it working. So again, keep an eye on the forums. Keep an eye on the profiles for people to change the game. I'm going to stick with Z normal. I'm going to click more full VR settings. And I want to try and make the screen a bit further away. If you feel a bit claustrophobic in VorpX, try and move the camera a bit further away from you. So image zoom is the one you need to play around with. Now that's making it more claustrophobic. That's really zoomed in. I have found if you play around with image zoom, and the further out you go, the more clearer the game becomes. But now, as you can see, basically this has put me back into immersive screen mode. I've zoomed out so far to try and make it really sharp. I'm basically back in immersive screen mode. So that has more or less defeated the object of having full VR mode. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I don't know if this has been picked up on the video. I can just see the top of the screens. Now when I'm playing games like this in VorpX, my brain tends to filter out the screens. But like I said, you can zoom in and out look to get rid of those screens. Again, it's all about playing around with these settings. Get the game to your liking. If you're new to VR, if you don't want to mess around, try the game. Try the default settings. If you don't like it, move on to the next game. All the time, check out other people's videos, check out on tutorials, find out how to do these little tweaks. I've been using VorpX for 2 years now, and I discovered a mode I did not even know how it worked. Headset sync. In Resident Evil 7, I was having lots of performance issues. I went into the forums and people said, headset sync, put it onto safe mode, and all my performance issues went away. Right now I can see safe mode working. I've got like a little bit of a delay when I move. So basically, safe mode is smoothing out your head movement. It's a bit like ASW when it kicks in and it smooths your gameplay. And this has really smoothed out my head movement now. Before I go, I'm just going to show you some of the other options in this menu. Like I said, you don't really need to mess around with these unless you know what you're doing. I tend to just mess around with the settings you saw in this video. You can mess around with the image settings, normal, aggressive, off, that sort of thing. Again, I tend to leave these alone. Display settings, as you can see, I put it onto safe. Motion smoothing, head tracking. You can change the Y-X axis. If I change this look to on, when I look down I should look up now. So if you play a game in VorpX and it feels back to front, you can change those settings in the game or in VorpX. Just click on invert X and Y. Put that back to normal. Not a lot of games I know use the touch settings. In fact, in 2 years I've never played a game with the Oculus touch controllers. The games have always been mouse and keyboard or the gamepad. So I've never had to use this option yet. This could be a future feature. Input settings. This is handy. The VorpX gamepad buttons. These are the buttons you use for edge peek. When I first started the game and launched the VorpX menu, and this was my option, I had to hold down thumbstick to edge peek. Now in this game, the thumbstick, when you click it down, is used for crouching. So when I tried to crouch in the game, I kept zooming out of the game. So on here, I changed this to start back, which is the button there. So now, if I want to edge peek, instead of pressing down the thumbstick, I press down this button here, look, and it zooms me out. That now allows me to use the thumbstick to crouch. So bear that in mind as well. Finally, we've got hotkey settings. I never touch these. Once you're happy, save your profile, and then once you're happy with the profile, you can save it to the cloud. So to finish off this video, I'm going to quit the game, go back to my desktop, upload my profile so other people can play it. Okay guys, so now I've got the profile working, I can share this with the community. So click on share the custom profile online. I'm going to add some details here. Okay, so best played in immersive screen mode for third person. Use the camera trick in game for FPS mode. Set weapon aim to toggle. First person mode best played with camera trick and mouse and keyboard. I have seen videos to do the camera trick better and remove the targeting reticle. also search for scripts and mods that will allow first person mode better. And then I have a video on what I did on my channel. Search for essential VorpX guide 2021 plus Hitman 3 on PC in VR. Okay, so that's going to help a lot of people who want to try this as well. And again, it gives people the chance to play around with the settings, and you'll find that people make better profiles. And this is my first attempt at this, so don't forget, this is from start to finish. I've never played the game in VR, so as you can see on the video, really easy to do. I'm now going to OK that. Your profile has been uploaded successfully. Another tip, if you want to use user profiles, I always go for the ones with the most downloads and the most endorsements. They're the ones you know people are using the most. So if you see one, it's got 1 download and no one says it's good, then find one that's got like 40 downloads and 5 people say it's good. If anything, my advice to Ralph would be a demo for people to try VorpX. But for now, I hope you find this guide really useful. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell all your friends. Hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!